Hello, everyone. John Coleman here. Hope you all had a very good bank holiday weekend. What I want to do today is not a lot to cover, but just enough to bring you up to date as to what's happening. The first thing I want to give you some information on is there was a report by the Banking and Payments Federation that was released during the weekend. Two things that stood out for me were one, well, in the first quarter of the year, there was 12,000 new mortgage approvals, which is a scary number. On the upside, though, there were in the year ending till the end of March, there was commencement of 35,000 new homes, which is a great indicator of where the future supply is likely to be. So while in the immediate moment it's still very tough out there, hopefully the supply is going to catch up with the demand in the not too distant future, which can only be of benefit in terms of keeping the house inflation to manageable proportions. Because at the moment it is pretty crazy as far as I can see. So that moves me on to the next thing I want to discuss, which are rates, which are becoming more and more topical at the moment. Booking the trend or the future expectations was Permanent TSB, who announced there last week new green rates for loans over 250 and loan to value of less than 80% of 2.35%. On top of that, they will also be giving the cash back and they have their monthly discount as well. So that is some good news, and it is kind of booking the trend because most of the expectations at the moment are that prices are going, or that rates are likely to increase in the not too distant future based on what's happening in Europe. Obviously, this is something we would be discussing at the point in time whereby you'd come to have to make a rate choice. So as for the banks themselves, well, yeah, their services still what I would call fair to middling without being exceptional, but not to the point where they were last year, whereby we were taking 4 to 5 weeks to get an answer. Some of them are at that level, but most of them in the main are working within what I would call acceptable timeframes rather than being um, excellent timeframes, I suppose is a better way of putting it. With regard to the exceptions, which is the question I get asked every single day, they're very thin on the ground, and the most likelihood they're not likely to be more readily available till probably the last quarter of the year. Obviously, if that changes in the meantime, I will let you know accordingly. So that's it for now. I hope you got some good information on this, but obviously, if you have any direct questions, feel free to reach out, and of course, I will get back to you as quickly as I possibly can.
I want you to get together.